Alright, what is up everybody? Back today with another video, and I've got a full review for you today. So obviously we got a Brian Brown Yeager M V2 made by Riot Knives. I could have swore I had done a video and put it up on this knife, and I was looking through my videos and it wasn't there. So I don't know. But anyways, we're going to get it done today, so there's no questions about it. So here's one of the cards you get, Brian Brown Knives. Check them out. Brian Brown, one of the hottest designers out at the moment, in my opinion. He's got some great stuff. He's got this, he's got the Raptor, he's got more stuff coming. Check out the specs. Let's a Knife Joy exclusive Yeager M V2 black PVD M390 blade and black PVD titanium, all PVD with blue anno collars, and this is a flipper version. See this spec once again here. Yeager M, all of that. Let's get into it. Get a very nice pouch with this knife. It feels like real leather. I don't know whether it is or not, but it sure feels good. And here is the knife. So these come, don't throw it. These come sealed in plastic from the factory. So if you got one that says it's new and it wasn't sealed in a little plastic sack, somebody has opened it. Check that out there. So obviously this is a very aesthetically pleasing knife. It's one of the better looking knife designs out, in my opinion, period. Got that flipper tab there. So let's go over some of what you get here. Again, M390 blade, and now this is all what some would call black wash and or stone wash black PVD, which I prefer because just a straight PVD coating will show wear very, very easily if you carry it at all. So you get the black wash there on the blade. M390 blade still, very proven. And look at that hollow grind. Absolutely beautiful there. Very deep hollow grind, making this thing a laser beam. That's what I call something very sharp, very slicey. Call it the laser beam. So again, this is a flipper model, as you can see there. The flipper tab. It's an amazing knife. Move on to this back spacer, full titanium back spacer. These are full titanium scales. Blue anodized titanium pivot colors. You get titanium hardware, as well as a titanium pocket clip. This knife does have a steel insert, so you get steel on steel action there in the lockup. Obviously the deployment hole, that's the big new thing, and I'm all for it. It seems most of the newer knives I get, deployment knives. I've got a left-handed Axon, should be here in the next day or two, deployment hole knife. And I sold a couple knives today. I sold my Microtech SOCOM Bravo, and my Hoback Sumo, or not Sumo, my Hoback Husky. I just didn't play with them much, didn't love them, so I ended up selling them. And I've got a, picked up a Hinderburg Eclipse Tonto Tri-Way, so that'll be here soon. That'll be very sweet. I had an XM18, ended up selling it because I didn't love the way it kind of curved, but I love my CT0393, so I'm thinking I'm going to love the Eclipse. Anyways, back to the knife at hand. So again, these are produced by Riot Knives out of China, and Riot does some absolutely fantastic stuff for people. They make dozens of different knives, a lot for American designers. Have them produced by Riot, and they do really, really good. Great quality. I've never had a Riot knife with an issue, unlike my EMP shitty DC Nimble up there, the Nimtard as I call it. But anyways, so this is a bearing knife. You can kind of see there. Now these are ceramic bearings running in a plastic bearing race or bearing cage. You know, I've seen that from Riot some. I had an Arcform Slimfoot, had the same plastic bearing cage. I guess it's not a big deal. The action's very, very smooth on this knife. As you can see, you get guillotine down to the thumb, and then a couple little shakes. Now, it's not completely drop shut, and I haven't seen many that are fully drop shut. And maybe that's got something to do with the PVD coating as well, but, you know. So this knife, it always sells out super quick on the pre-orders, and if anyone gets any actual stock in, they're gone. I did buy this on the secondary market from eBay, but it came sealed in the plastic pouch, like I said. So brand new, and I love it. Definitely one of my favorite knives. It's up there in the top 3 for sure at this point. Just a beautiful knife, and it's a cutter too. No blade play. Ergonomics wise, I don't love the ergos. If it had better ergos for me, it would be a 10 out of 10. Right now it's like an 8.5 to a 9. But I do have big meaty paws, so and maybe a non-flipper model would be better, and I could choke up a little bit. But as for right now, it's about a 3.5 finger grip. It's fairly comfortable though. I can't complain too much. It's not bad. The pocket clip and right-handed hold is not too much of a hot spot. It's fairly neutral because it does not flare up at the end. You can see it's what I call a tab clip. It's got that little tab at the end versus like the Axon is what I call a compression clip. You see it's just that flat compression. Yep. So it works great in and out of the pocket well. It doesn't snag like a Chavez clip does. Very smooth. I do like the clip. Now obviously my preferred method of deployment is the reverse flick. You can also thumb flick this knife, left-handed anyway. Let me see, right-handed. Yeah, you can thumb flick it right-handed. But the tab here, only jimping on the knife is on this tab. The way it's angled, I feel like a lot of flipper tabs are kind of angled up. This one's angled down, but with that jimping, you can really lock on, and it really, really fires that blade out there. So very, very snappy with the flipper tab, which I like it. Now the detent on my particular knife is perfect. No issue with the reverse flicks. Does really, really well with the reverse flick, like I said. Detent is tuned just right for it. Never had an issue there. And it's tuned well for the flipper tab also. So no issues there on the detent. I know sometimes that could be the issue, especially with flipper reverse flicking knives such as this. Really dig that backspacer. As you can see, it's kind of rounded out. So I'm going to get this out, and then I'm going to do a comparison between these two, between the Axon frame lock. I've got a liner lock left-handed Axon coming, but between the Axon frame lock and the Yeager here, I think another good comparison would be the Nimble versus the Axon, because they're almost identical in size. Might be something I do. I hate to give this Nimble X any more press though, with the issues I've had. If you guys saw my other video, you know the issues I was having. So what I ended up doing is I was able to take a Civivi knife and take one of the ball bearings out of the cage and replace it into this bearing cage. I then sanded out the deployment hole. I'm not done yet, but where the coating was flaking off, I sanded it out. Then on the centering, I played around with everything in there. Did a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I've got it about centered. It's a little off to the left, but overall pretty much centered now. Good amount of blade play that it is centered, but I'd rather have blade play than not be centered, because it's not going to be hard to use. So I've kind of self-solved some of these issues, but with issues I had, the factory should have fixed it. Anyways, go check out my video on what happened with that whole situation and why you should never buy from EMP EDC. Anyways, back to this knife. So overall, if you're considering one of these, I would definitely recommend it. I think you're going to love it. Just the action, fit and finish, overall aesthetics, just fantastic all around. Brian Brown has done an amazing job with this knife. This started out as a fixed blade, if I'm not mistaken, and it turned into this masterpiece. This is a knife I probably never plan on selling. Just one of those knives, kind of like the Mini Tempest. I got this on the drop from DLT. Also one of my favorite knives, Riot made. Let's do a quick cut test. Like half a piece of paper here. Like I said, laser beam. That paper was bent. Let me show you here. I mean, it's just, you can carve shapes into tiny pieces of paper. This thing is fantastic overall. So yeah, in the pocket, rides great. Not too thick, very good size overall. Quick size comparison to the CK Knifeworks Maverick S, which is a 7-inch knife. A little bit smaller there. Let's do again the Vero Axon frame lock. A little bigger. Zero Tolerance 0393. Much bigger. Vero Engineering Neuron. A little bit smaller. And how about a Chavez Scapegoat? Very similar. A little bigger. One more Tactile Knife Co. Rockwall. This should be a close one. Just ever so slightly smaller. There we go. So, not a big knife by any means, but very good EDC size, and it's just enough knife for me to be comfortable. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. If you can find one, buy it. And that's about it on this one. So guys, talk about the channel for a second. So I sold some old stuff. I've got 2 new knives on the way now. I've got the left-handed liner lock Axon on the way I was talking about, and then the Hinderer Eclipse Tonto Triway. That coming soon. So look for those unboxing videos, and I'll try to get some more full reviews out, like I said. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you have a great day.